Hi guys, hello, I'm back. I've had a bit of a break. There's been 2 weeks and I was gonna have a longer break, but then it's just you know, when you the insides, there's so many insides, so much is going on, so much is going on, and I've just had so many new insights that I've been writing in my book and on little pieces of paper, and it's just, I thought, now I need to sit down and I need to do a video, because otherwise it's just gonna get lost in the, you know, in the kind of chaos of it all, and I don't want that to happen. I've been writing it all down, but even when you write it down, something gets lost in the general melee of it all. And I reckon this video is probably going to be quite rambly, because so much is going on, and I'm not feeling great today, actually. I really don't. In fact, I haven't been feeling great, but there has been a shift within me. I'll start the video off by making sure, by saying that at least, because you get to a point where your true self just becomes more strong, more resilient, more confident and more present, so that you don't get as lost as you used to do in the darkness. I mean, you're still kind of in the darkness, but you have a sense of true north that remains with you, that, you know, it's very difficult to explain. I was just thinking about my childhood again this morning, and how truly horrifying it was, right? And I got a comment from somebody, Heather, and it just made me think so much about how so many of us soul travelers truly have some horrible, nasty ass fucking childhoods, where the people that are meant to love us, cherish us, care for us, are our arch enemy, and they fuck with us to such a degree that we are just lost to ourselves. And that is the name of the game, guys. That is it. Because if you really stop and really pay attention to your own inner world, and you watch people, and you watch nature, you watch everything, you will see that the biggest problem is that everything is lost to itself. And that was always the name of the game, and that's why we have these narc parents that treat us, that scapegoat us and treat us like garbage, and then expect us to come back to them and apologize for crimes we have not committed in order to survive, because they have what we need to survive, right? Our parents, if you think about it, have what we need to survive. When you're a small child, you know, it's different when you're 17, 18, 19, whatever, you know, but when you're a small child, your parent has what you need to survive. And they use that against you, they weaponize that. So you get accused of all kinds of abominable crimes, but really what you get accused of is existing. That is really what it is. Because you're a fucking spanner in the works. That is really what it is, you see. Because these parents, you know, I mean, you get different types of narcissism, and you get your pathological narcissism, which is psychopathy. But in the case of, I'd say, my mother, I mean, who was without a doubt a narcissist, and who mentally, emotionally, physically tormented the fuck out of me, no doubt about it, but I can see that this was done to her as well. So I can see a pattern there, and it's an ancestral thing. And it's much bigger than that, of course. But it is an extension of the Matrix, which sees us, soul travelers, as a major problem. We are a major problem to it. Because we're a spanner in the works, you see, because we're not your ordinary, complacent, obedient entity. We came here to do something. We came here to do a job. We came here to shut down this bullshit, really, to create a light reset. And we are primed, we are gifted, I'm struggling with vocabulary of late, man. Wow. We are unique, gifted individuals surrounded by these things called NPCs or the Normies. I'm going to get to that in a minute, guys. Okay, like I said, it's going to be quite a long video, I think, and quite rambly, because I've had many thoughts about many things and many nuances and many insights and this and that and the other, and I'm just going to do the best that I can with it. That's what I do, and I've made notes. The reason they target you, they do it through your parents, your mother, your father, your aunties, your uncles, your brothers, your sisters, it doesn't really matter. The neighborhood, the schools, the system, whatever. The reason they target you, the reason they scapegoat you is because you're a fucking spanner in the works. And what do? They tell you that you're worthless and that you're powerless. They have what you need. In this world, if you look at it, right, your food, your clothing, your shelter, your connections with other people, your friendships, all of it, one way or another, is usurped by them. And you are expected to take into yourself the burden of guilt, of shame, of guilt, of being intrinsically bad, wrong, rotten, dirty, sinful, and powerless too. Oh yeah. And as long as you go along with that, the status quo, that okay, Mr. Matrix, I accept that I'm worthless and powerless and that I deserve to be punished and I deserve to suffer and be treated like shit. Just a minute, guys. Right. You know, and I will continue to play that game because that, the Matrix says, is what you need to do if you want to stay safe. Right? It's not about well-being, it's just about being safe. Safe from what? You try stepping into the light, you try choosing sovereignty, self-love, your own power, your own magic, sowing the seeds of light. Try doing that. Every time there's a massive onslaught from within as well as without. No doubt about it. Doesn't stop me from doing it. In fact, I do it increasingly now because I no longer believe the lie that I was taught when I was a child. The lie that if you do not play the game of powerless, worthless victim, you will be punished. Something bad will happen to you. As in, you know, with my mother, you need to accept the burden of guilt. It's all your fault. You're intrinsically bad. I don't know why I ever had you. You're so disgusting. You're so bad. And, you know, you would have to agree with that assessment. And you'd have to live that lie in order to be fed, in order to have any kind of distorted, gaslighty sense of approval. This is all really twisted and fucked up, you know. Because when you stop and really think about it, this is how soul travelers are treated in the world anyway, you know. I did a video called, I think it was called The Tipping Point, so you might want to go back and watch that one if you haven't, and I speak about this because I've been becoming more and more aware of this as well. The way you're treated by an NPC versus, say, a normie. Now, the Gnostics have this theory, I suppose, where you have Hylics, NPCs, not souls. I call them demons because that's what they fucking are. Versus the pneumatics, I think. Yeah, pneumatics, and they are souls, but they are not really very awake at all. So they're very much like Hylics in many ways. And then you have the psychics, that would be your soul traveller, and there aren't many of us at all, not many at all. We are the crème de la crème. We are the holy grail of soulness. Now, I had some experiences sort of the last couple of weeks that showed me very clearly what is what with that. And I'm really quite happy I had those experiences. I mean, I went to get some paint in a shop nearby. There's me thinking, well, rather than going to B&Q, which is one of these massive corporate stores. Hi, Bruce. Oh, bless. I'll go to a smaller store because, I like to support local businesses. And I walked in, and the guy looked at me with his little black eyes, and he just exuded malevolence. Just pure, nasty malignancy. He was rude, he was unpleasant. I ordered the paint, which they then go on and mix. And then I saw this pack of rollers, and it said £10. So, I was like, I picked up one of those, put it down. Then I paid for it, and he gives me my receipt. And I look at the receipt, and he's charged me 15 quid for the roller. So I says to him, all this time, with a really bad attitude and exuding negative waves of energy, such as, it was really bad. So I says to him, it says, right, it says over there, it says £10. So he actually hissed at this point, which I thought was rather odd. Then he stomped out from beneath the counter, went over, grabbed the little placard that said it was £10 and said that was last month's offer. So I had a look at the placard, and it said nothing about it being last month's offer. It basically was just nonsense, bullshit. He said, I'll give you a refund if you want. I was like, well, all right then. So he ended up giving me a refund for the roller, instead of taking the extra £5 off and just letting me have the roller for a tenner. No. It was bad. And I got really angry, lost the plot in a big way. I was seething with rage. So I let myself down, because I don't like doing things like that, because I hold myself, I really try every day, I hold myself to a high standard, as high as I can. And I get it wrong all the time, guys. We all do, because we're all a bit fucked up. Let's face it, we've lived in this evil shithole. It's just fucking done such a number on us. Just spoken about the hows and the whys and childhood and the abuse and the insanity and whatnot. So I said to him, you're a nasty piece of fucking work. I hope you get the vax and I hope you die. And I'm stormed out. And then I thought, I wish I hadn't said that. Not because I'm sure he has, and I'm sure he will, and that's great, because he's a fucking demon and he's an NPC, and that is what that is. But it feels like as if I dishonour myself by saying things like that. And I prefer just to not behave that way at all. But I was so angry. God, I was burning with rage. It was just incredible, because the guy was, without any reason other than just a pure malevolent hatred that he felt toward me and my friend Stephen, who was in the shop, as well. It was like both of us, because we're both soul travellers, and it was just that way. So that was a very extreme example of that. Then, what else happened? I had a few other sort of incidents, not altercations, just incidents where I was dealing with people providing a service for me. Oh yeah, that's it, the blind. Oh, that leads to another one. Wow. So basically, how long ago was this? It wasn't last week, so it would have been a week before. Right now, I like my coffee. I do. I love my coffee, and I need to wait. In the morning, I wake up ridiculously early. I don't get a great deal of sleep. I need a coffee. Without coffee, forget it. Right, coffee. And I like good strong coffee. So I had this Italian stovetop espresso maker that I bought about 3 months ago, that had a lovely kind of design and this and the other, got good reviews, didn't come from fucking China, you know that. I'm stood there, right in front of it, it's here. I've got my hands on the handle and I'm thinking that, oh, the coffee isn't coming out quite as well as it might. And as I'm thinking that, I hear this very, very loud sound that, and it all happened so quickly, and then I get coffee grounds in my eyes and all over my face, and there's coffee grounds and coffee over all the walls in my kitchen and the ceiling, and there's a great big hole in the ceiling, and the whole fucking thing has only gone and exploded. Yeah, like boom, like, you know. Now, I'm pretty good in a crisis, and the minute I worked out what had happened, I switched the stove off, assessed the situation, and thought, this is nothing short of a fucking miracle, because this thing should have literally lobotomized me or just taken my face off and killed me, stone dead, no doubt about it, right? This was a massive explosion, guys, really. There was a great big hole in the ceiling. So I just thought, well, this is a miracle. I'm alive. I'm actually unhurt. That's just some coffee grounds on my face. No hot coffee, no burns, nothing. Literally, like how the fuck, do you know what I mean? Because it was all around the kitchen, on the ceiling, on the floor. I mean, it was carnage. It was fucking appalling. So I thought, well, I better just clean it then. This is at, I think, 4:30 in the morning. So this is how I deal with crises generally. I'm like, I might be in a total state of shock, fear, just whatever fucking tumultuous, emotional woo. I like the calm in a storm. I'm like assessing the situation, right, what needs to be done. This coffee is going to stain the walls. I've just had the kitchen painted, so I need to clean it. I didn't even know where to start cleaning because the floor was just awash with, I mean, it was appalling, but I managed to clean it all. It took me about 3 hours, but I cleaned it, all of it. But one strange thing happened. There was a woman who lives down the road from me who's got 3 little terriers, 3 little doggies. She's a total NPC, she's really strange. She always wobbles, you know. Do you guys remember that toy from the 70s and the 80s? And it was called Weebles. Weebles wobble, but they don't fall down. A lot of NPCs I've noticed, they wobble when they walk, if you notice that. And I always think, oh, Weebles wobble, but they don't fall down. Anyway, shortly after this explosion, when I hoisted the blind up, and I'll get back to the whole blind business and whatever in a minute, if I can, if I remember. I mean, the blind was covered in coffee, and I hoisted it up, and I could see her coming down the road with the 3 little doggies dressed a certain way, right? So, took the blind off the brackets, because it was just fucked, chucked it out, started cleaning, and 10 minutes later, I look out the window, scans, as you do, and there she is again, only dressed differently. 3 doggies coming up the path, you know. I had the distinct impression or sense that with this explosion, something shifted. Like, I don't know, but it felt like a reset of sort. It was very strange. It was very strange. There were a few anomalous incidents actually whilst I was cleaning, and it was all odd. I mean, the kitchen now is absolutely fine. It's completely clean. In fact, it's cleaner than it's ever been because I had to clean all the surfaces and all the cupboards and everything and everything and everything. In between the floorboards with a toothbrush and whatnot, because I'm, you know, a little bit OCD, and it was, you can imagine what that was like to somebody who suffers from OCD. It's like, oh, fuck. But, you know, I dealt with it really well, and I'm really proud of myself. It was very strange, and it was a very strange day, and things have actually been very fucking strange ever since that incident. Yes. So then I thought, right, so I'm going to have a new blind. So, you know, there's several companies that do blinds, all of them very NPC-ish. It's like, well, we have 56 different versions of beige and khaki, grey and white and black. Hoo, hoo, hoo. I went for one that's not too bad. And so this guy comes around to, you know, with that book, you know, whatever. And I know straight away, because even though this guy, this demon, was not as overtly hate-filled and malevolent toward me, it was there. And it was exactly the same energy, the same consciousness. I wouldn't call it yeah. It was exactly the same as with the demon, the garbage demon, in the paint shop down the road. But it was better veiled. It was veiled. But I wrote it all down, but I'm gonna see if I can find it, right? Because I've been writing down so much stuff because I've just had one thing after another, like, ooh, see, NPCs versus normies, because this is really important, I feel. So, it is disdain, disapproval, it's a kind of condescension, but it's more, that's what I wrote down at the time, but it's far more than that. And it's negative, heavy, sludgy, dark energy, almost like a weaponry of some sort that is focused towards us, projected towards us. And ultimately, because I really think about it, sit with it, and I'm like, right, so what did it feel like in the receiving almost of it, which you don't want to receive it, of course, but you are affected by it. Whether you like it or not, it is what it is, especially when you're going through your, like a true soul traveler now, really going through it, right? Inner work, going into the darkest recesses of your own psyche for healing purposes ain't no laughing matter. So you're going through it, mentally, emotionally, physically, materially. Fuck, you want to scream alongside every day, and you're in so much pain and grief and fear, a lot of fear at the moment, a lot of fear, guys, bad, ooh. And hurt as well, because we get hurt. It's so difficult, and so you know, you're dealing with this creature that you have in your home after this massive explosion and all this insane carnage and weirdness, high strangeness, and it is this feeling of, okay, he doesn't like me at all. He wishes he could do me harm, and if he knew beyond the shadow of a doubt that he could get away with it, he would kill me. That is the feeling, I think. I did a video, I think it's called They Surround Us and They Envy Us, but I think it's more than envy. I actually believe with all my being that soul travelers pose a major impediment, to say the least, to the world that these demonic scumbags inhabit. We are a threat to them. There is no way that you hate somebody in that particular way that they hate us if this individual does not pose a threat to you. It just, this is what I feel, and you know, I could be wrong, but it is very much what I feel. they want to harm us, but they're not allowed to harm us. It's like something's restraining them. They are being restrained. There is a protection around us. I know people say, well, if that were true, this wouldn't have happened and that wouldn't have happened. Well, you know, guys, lots of shit has happened to me as well. And I could think that way. I could go down that road. But things have happened. But mostly it has become a healing covenant. It has been utilized in such a way, beautifully, magically, to bring about intrinsic healing shifts, enabling me to travel up my spiral path. You know, so that I don't stagnate on the same bollocks level, and I haven't. They want to harm us, but they're not allowed to. And that makes them even more angry. And some of them are just unable to contain that abject hatred. I mean, I just really stop and think about, right, what would make you hate somebody as much as they hate us? Now, if somebody's powerless and worthless and stupid and small and insignificant and just you wouldn't hate that being, that person, that entity, that individual. You wouldn't care. You'd be indifferent. You'd just be indifferent. It wouldn't matter, you know. But when somebody threatens your existence, your whatever it is that you are and that you stand for and that you want and whatever, I don't know, your demonicness and your demonically infected shitty fucking empire, whatever, when they pose a major impediment to that and are a major spanner in the work and are here on a fucking mission to sort the shit out, you know, we're the enemy. They're frightened of us. They hate us with an endless hatred. That, yeah, they're like, I did, you know, because he was in my kitchen and the blinds and the this and I could feel it coming off him. Oh my God, he was almost a bit sarcastic and it was all just, I could feel it. And it was exactly the same energy as in the paint shop, only veiled, you know? So then, last week I wanted to replace my electric bike chain. So there was a guy that lives down the road who works on bikes in his garage. Greg's Bike Repair. So I thought, right, okay, somebody would say go there because he's a nice guy, whatever. But the guy telling me that was an NPC, and you know, so I'm like, well, I don't know. But anyway, I didn't like the place where I bought the bike, and they are definitely horrible, nasty, gaslight fuckers. So I thought I ain't gonna take it there. Because again, they also exude that same energy. And when I took the bike there for an overhaul, they totally lied to me and overcharged me, and I had to have it out with them at the time, and that was just horrible. You know, you don't want to be at war with the world every fucking day, fighting to survive, keeping your head above water, trying to work things out, but it feels that way, doesn't it, guys? I mean, yeah, you can try and be as zen as you can be and let go as much as you can and practice radical fucking surrender, faith, trust, not in God, no, in yourself. You know, really feel that and do that, and often enough, yeah, that really works and it really, really helps. But many a time you have to make your point, you have to stand your ground, you have to be assertive and this and that and ooh and ah, and that coupled with everything else you're going through becomes so exhausting. So exhausting. This is why in my last video I said choose your battles carefully, you know, really. Anyway, so I take my bike to this guy. Now, I know he's a normie, I can tell straight away. I can look at his house and I can look at this, that and the other and his garden and stuff and whatever, and I know he's a normie. as in, but I knew he was sold, and I knew this because he looked me in the eye. First of all, he made eye contact, and he had kind eyes. He looked at my bike, and he did, he said, okay, well, no problem, I'll let you know when to pick it up. And I went, okay, and he gave me a bell a couple of days later, and he said, oh, the bike's ready, and pick it up whenever you like. And I went there, and I could feel, spoken about this before, haven't I, where you feel the warmth of another being. It's very difficult to put into words, but if you are aware of this, you'll know what I mean. Right? It's warm, it's empathy, and there's eye contact, and he was diligent. He did a great job, on my bike. He said, oh, there's a few advisories, but there's no need to have it done straight away. I did have it done straight away. He didn't overcharge me. In fact, it was very affordable. He could charge a shitload more, but he doesn't. He clearly enjoys what he does. He doesn't do it for the money. He does it because he likes tinkering with bikes. He's good at it. He has these 2 little doggies that have strange little names, which is always nice and unique and individual, and basically he has individuality, and he has empathy, and he has kindness, and he really, really loves his dogs, and he has a lot of affection for them. And he doesn't talk about the monetary value of it all. He talks about the meaning of why he enjoys doing this, and he sees meaning in it, and it's there, and he is sold. He's not awake. I didn't even go into anything at all, because I don't do that anymore. I just let people be what they are. Normies, sold people that aren't really very awake at all. I don't talk about anything like that with them. I just let them be as they are. They have every right to be, respected in their journey wherever they are at. They don't need somebody like me to come in and start telling them this is going on and that's going on. I just don't do that. So the contrast is so big. It's like ta-da! I mean, I could almost hear that sort of like music in the back, like this massive orchestra, like, I don't know, fucking Brahms's German Requiem was playing in the background as I was super aware of. This is a soul being, a normie, and that is an NPC, a demon, and it's the whole they live thing. It's a documentary. They're demons. NPCs are demons. They can be Fibonacci demons, they're all clean and nice and ooh and ah, or they can be garbage demons, malevolent, toxic, dark, sinister, fuckers with murderous intent. Don't get me wrong, the Fibonacci demons want us dead as well, no doubt about it, but they're very good at pretending to be all just, whatever. And it just brought back a whole wave of experiences that I've had throughout the years. Exactly like that. NPCs, demonic scumbags, all of them. I was driving, the weather's been really hot, which always makes me think of that Susie and the Banshees song. Was it 93 or 96 Fahrenheit degrees, where everybody goes a bit loopy? And again, this would affect, because it's a matrix thing, and it would affect the demons, and they become increasingly more malevolent, and because driving to the beach, I mean, I've never seen so many dead animals by the roadside. I've never seen so many Mandela effects. It's like, that wasn't there before, that wasn't there before, that's different, what the fuck is going on? People were posting all kinds of really dark, heavy, negative shit on Facebook. People that normally post quite positive, strong, courageous things were like, oh, it's better to be afraid now than disappointed later, type of bullshit. Evil always wins, there's nothing we can do. Oh, everything that's happening was all day, it's all planned. Oh no, we're all doomed, we're all finished, we should all come. All of that, heavy. And I'm like, wow, fuck. So I just switched everything off, everything. I switched it all off and just thought, fuck this. And I've just been reading a book. And that was all very Maverick Effect-like, because I was drawn strongly to read this book. It's all set in the antebellum South. I've always had this really strong connection to Georgia, Alabama, New Orleans. I don't know why, but it's always been there my whole life. And then I came across some music by the Be Good Tanya's, Waiting Around to Die, which was a really sad song. It's all about the opiate epidemics, but that triggered something in me, and then it was like that, and then boom, next thing you know, you've got another past life memory type of thing, which I don't accept it necessarily as a past life memory as such, but I'm very, very good dealing with high strangeness. The Indian people, Native American people call it the Great Mystery. And whilst most people who are very left brain orientated are confused and immediately dismiss it or misinterpret it or go into the whole fear-based thing, I am very good with it and very at home with it, and I call it the Maverick Effect. Because one thing leads to another in this really magical way. That song, the book that I was reading, which is set in the South in 1853, and it's a really good book. You could say, yeah, but history is a lie. And I'm like, yeah, okay, that's fine, whatever, that probably is. But I just take it as a story, whether it's true or not, or based on fact or not, that's irrelevant to me. It's the story itself that matters. And it's the song, which somehow just... And then that memory of being this kid, and I've just stolen what I think is a horse, but it's not a horse, it's a mule. And I've got this silly hat on, and I'm on this mule, and I'm kicking the mule, and I'm like trying to make it go, because I know there's a posse after me, because horse theft, And they shoot me right through the back of the head, boom, dead. And then I see my mother stood by the graveside, and it's like my mother lives in this shed with a dirt floor and has nothing, and has had like 12 children, and they're all dead, and the poverty is so horrific, so dreadful. And there's my mother stood by the graveside, which is all because supposedly, obviously I'm dead, and how the fuck did you see that, but whatever, and they're saying, I ain't never gonna pray again. And that sentence just kept reverberating through my head. I ain't never praying again, I ain't never praying again, I ain't never praying again. And the desolation, this sense of, well, before this happened, I still had a tiny smidgen of hope or faith or something left. But now, no. Now I believe that evil always wins, and that there is nothing I can do. So then there was a shitload of fear and a shitload of murky underwaterness and all that, and that song, waiting around to die in my head, and the kind of image of me on that mule, thinking it was a horse but it was a mule, and the posse after me, and the shot through the head, and my mother, and the dirt shed, and just the whole thing. And then, and then somebody left a comment saying that I've dispelled the notion of evil always wins, which clicked in a deeper look, thank you. That was part of my Maverick Effect that day, and that clicked in there, and it was like, yeah, that notion had to be dispelled, because our souls are fragmented across this field, this vast field of different stories, past lives, that have this hook into us, that make us believe, and whatever. It's all energetic, and it's weaponry, and these are etheric implants. I'm not saying we have actually lived these lives. I don't know, I can't say. And it certainly isn't linear either. And time is a weapon. It's not real at all. It's actually complete bullshit. It's a means of deluding us, growing old. Well, time goes by. No, growing old is an abomination. It's not meant to be that way. It's all a lie, right? But because there was another life recently in Russia where me and a group of people wanted to get away from the Orthodox Church and its minions, and there's all kinds of really nasty shit going on with that. So we leave civilization and we travel into the middle of fucking nowhere, somewhere in Russia, where we, where we begin a new life, which is really difficult, really, really hard, but we forge it, eke it out, bit by bit by bit, and then these fucking bastards come, minions of the church, the Orthodox Church and the state or something, and fucking murder us all. I mean, just, wow. And all this stuff is coming up, and the grief and the fear, and then June, the book June, I thought I'm going to reread June again, but I picked up the book, but the letters are really small, so I may need to get something with a slightly larger print, but I really want to read the book again. And I picked the book up and it fell on the ground, and of course on the back, and I'm going to get the book because here we go. See, Frank Herbert, the great trilogy, and of course what does it say on the back? I must not fear. Fear is the mind killer. Fear is the little death that brings total obliteration. I will face my fear. Right? Wow. Because what perpetuates this torturous experience that had merit. I mean, I've had past life experiences where I was like this guy, I think it's in Austria, and I'm a composer, but I'm really shit at it. I'm not very good, but it's quite a good life. I remember a life in Japan. I remember a life in Greece. That was pretty good as well. It's duality. That is what it is. Duality isn't a case of like, well, this is evil and this is good and never the twain shall meet. No. Duality is a mix in one stream. It's, it's the duality ice cream flow. It's duality is I sometimes I feel tired of explaining it, because I feel that people should be able to get this, and I'm sure they do. But I come across so many people who are so mired in the negativity and the defeatism and cannot seem to emerge from it. And I do understand, because believe me when I say that with the life that I've lived, boy, and the emotions that come up from within me that I valiantly continue to feel. I mean, to be honest, I wouldn't even know how to not feel them, or how to somebody called it shutting down, I think. Quite a few people have actually called it that over the years. Now I think about it, I wouldn't know how to do that. But I've always been at ease with my emotions, no matter what they are. I rather would feel like, even when, say in the past, I took some mushrooms and I went straight into hell. Bad. I've taken acid tabs before and it's been the same. But I've felt it out. Because in those darkest moments, you will truly be called upon to stand by yourself. Because if you don't, that's it. You're dead. You'll run into a bathroom and you commit suicide or something. You will. And that is your finest hour in many ways. That is where you truly get to test your own mettle. And I learned in those darkest moments to never give up on myself, but to hold on to myself for dear life. That I am the most precious thing to myself. Right? I mean, you can never, you can't control other people or how they treat you or whatever, but you can learn to recognize when somebody treats you in a way that isn't fair, that isn't right, that isn't honorable, that isn't based in integrity, you know, and walk away from that. You can learn to recognize what is right and what is wrong and what is good and pure and true and what is a baseless, dirty lie. You can learn that ultimately, in the middle of it all, you can choose to either sow seeds of light, or you can sow seeds of destruction and death. We've been trained from the get-go to sow seeds of death, because that is where these NPCs live. They want us to do that. They hate us, because the minute we activate ourselves, the minute we get it, the choice, the minute we get that, I don't think there's any going back, and I think the end is nigh. The end's inside. They know it, we know it. I still have these thought forms going on about, oh, it's not going to be okay, look at it, it's all fucked, we're fucked, evil's so powerful, blah, and the fear and all these emotions, all that trauma, all that, oh, yeah. And often enough, you know, you do think, is this ever going to end? Because it is a shift, and it's slow, it's very slow, but very thorough. But I always choose light. And I always will, you know, because I will not give up, because I love myself. More and more you will learn to see yourself, and you will see how precious you are, how wonderful and incredible you are. You know, you are not what they have put into you. These NPCs, these demons, this, oh, you're so bad and you're so shit at everything you do and you never do anything right, and another element of it, you know, where, because this is what happened. There was me thinking, oh God, I'm such an idiot, why did I go to that shop, you know, and it's like, whoa, that's it. You see, this is what it does to you. You end up blaming yourself. Oh, I'm such an idiot. Why did I go there? Why did I do that? Why did I get involved with this individual who is, you know, whatever, however. You know, you get that self-blame, self-hate, oh, it's me. Oh, and that's what they want. That's where they want you see? I think it's very telling that they hate us that much. They hate us so much, oh boy. And they're driving around, I mean, they're driving like fucking psychopaths on crack. Like a bunch of diseased, mentally insane meth addicts everywhere. I mean, slow down, motherfuckers. No, garbage demons. And the high strangeness is so palpable now. Nothing makes any sense whatsoever. And I also feel that that is very good. Very good. It just lies exposed. Evil lies so exposed now. It's like, yeah, we see you. We know what you are. See, normies have a measure of empathy and warmth. They look for meaning rather than money, because these NPCs it was a conversation a friend of mine overheard, and it was about rice pudding, which in and of itself is like, oh fuck. But it was like, I paid this much for rice pudding, and then the other one goes, oh, I make it myself at home, it's a lot cheaper, it only cost me this much to make it at home. And I'm like, you know, wow, I'm here with my invisible pump action shotgun. I mean, instead of saying, well, I make it at home and I put this in, I put that in, it tastes really great. Meaning, you see? No. This is what they are. Money, Heilegs. This is what the Gnostic scriptures refer to them as. Heilegs. That's all they are. Because I remember there was this guy and he had this electric bike. And I was there and I was like, oh, that's interesting. Because it did look funky. And immediately I knew, oh man, I shouldn't have. He was an NPC. And again, you get that same energy of almost like reproachfulness, you know what I mean? It's like against you, like, you know. And it starts telling me about how much money the bike costs. And I was like, all right, nice, right. Anyway, I've got to go. See you, bye. Off. Zero morality, you know. And another thing they do though as well, they try, like that guy with the bike, they try and engage you, keep you in a kind of loop of conversation, because they want to talk at you, like, you know, and you stood there, and when you're not ready to set strong boundaries, you will let them siphon off your life force, because you're there and you're like, you want to go, but you feel that you're being rude. I don't, obviously. I'm like, yeah, I've got to go. Or sometimes I just say, shut the fuck up and walk off, you know. I don't care anymore. I'm way beyond caring. I don't give a shit. You're a demon. You're full of shit. I don't want to know you. Fuck off. Don't talk to me. Fuck off, demon. You know, somebody said to me years ago, you know, put your forked tongue behind your teeth. And it's, yeah, that's it. They're shit. But they just want to, you know, give me your life force. I mean, they're clearly starving and they're weakening and they're falling apart and their fucking matrix is falling apart and their empire of filth is falling apart and they're the fucking Coca-Cola ad. That's the Fibonacci demon, you know. Look at, oh God, I want to buy the world a home and furnish it with love and guided meditations. Right? And something else that came up when I was on a walk. Oh yeah, this is another thought I had, right? I wrote it down. This was when I was in the car. The difference between the Fibonacci realm, the matrix, and the realm created by a clear consciousness, right? When we shift into the clear consciousness, the light reset, is perpetual recreation of the known. Fibonacci will do the same thing over and over and over again, forever, ad nauseam. So we're infinite, you know, we are. Versus the true consciousness, a perpetual creation of the new and the unknown. Right? And what else did I write down? I said we cannot fix the image in the mirror. Only the being standing in front of it. And I thought that was meaningful. That's just a thought that popped into my head. You know how everybody's always trying to fix the fucking world? Oh, we've got to go out there and we've got to donate money to charity and we've got to go out there and we've got to help. Like there's this woman that lives nearby and yeah, it's true, she's in very bad health, but it's like a money pit, you know. Everybody's always, oh, what can we do for you? What can we do for you? Oh, you know, and and it never gets any better. It just goes from bad to worse, right? This is the wounded healer thing. And the wounded healer is always trying to fix everything other than him, herself. You know? So it's like trying to fix what you see in the mirror by I don't know, putting makeup on the face in the mirror, when in fact it's here. I think you get my drift here. Because that is another element of all this that's been coming up for me in a major way, the whole wounded healer thing. And it's a very toxic thing indeed. The wounded healer is codependence personified, no doubt about it whatsoever. I need to be in distraction mode. I can't fix myself, I'm fucked. I don't want to fix myself. I'm beyond fixing. I'm beyond redemption. I'm fucked. Evil is another thing I can do. I can't fix myself. What makes you think that you can fix anything else? If you don't believe you can help yourself, fix yourself, what makes you think you can help anybody else? Like, I don't see a logic there, but there you go, that's it. That's your wounded healer. And that is another trick and another trap of the Matrix. You know, when you go within, there is no doubt that you do feel out of your depth every step of the way, and terrified and terrorized, and like you can't see the wood for the trees, and it's chaos and it's carnage, and emotionally it's like, oh my fucking god, I'm gonna there are no words for it, none whatsoever. But if you are willing to engage and walk the path and commit again and again, you will do it. You will always find your true north. I know this from experience, and I am no better or worse than any of you, right? It's like this, oh, we need to go out there and fix other people's lives. We need to help them, but you're not helping yourself. I went through unspeakable shit in my life, and I had nobody to help me. I helped myself. And I am no better or worse than any of you. I'm not. You all have such courage. You all have such capacity, you know, for wisdom, for working it out, for walking this path, for getting it, doing it. You have the destiny, you know, for freedom and true well-being, for the light reset. All of you have. So stop trying to fix others, believing you can't fix yourself, so you better. That doesn't make any sense. The Matrix wants us to have this sense of this bottomless pit, the abyss. We're all gonna go to hell. We're all gonna be fucking destroyed. We're all gonna be annihilated. So the best we can do is just to try and you know, fix something over there. Try and help. And it's like with this woman. I mean, it's just never ending, and there is no taking responsibility, and there's no owning it, and there's no anything at all. There's no understanding. It's just a black void. They tell you that you're a narcissist, or that you're selfish, or that you're bad. Here we go again with the whole toxic shame thing, the whole program designed to trap you. When you focus on yourself, and when you learn to love yourself and honor yourself, and let people know how you want to be treated and how you do not want to be treated, when you cut people off or invite people in, when you learn to be here, to work on yourself, to heal yourself, to engage with the great mystery that is the Maverick effect, when you decide to commit to this and do the work, it attacks you, just like these NPCs attack us for being radiant beings of light. They hate us so much. And the dark generator, the Black Hand, is their voice. That is what it is. That is what this realm is. That is what evil is the voice of evil, and it doesn't want us to walk our true path and to self-actualize. It wants you to believe that you're done and finished and powerless and small. It's such a clever trick, and it has so many different layers to it that I have spoken about in all my previous videos, because that is what this channel is about. I work it out, you know. It's what it's all about, this channel, you know. It's here for soul travelers, not here for anyone else. This channel is for soul travelers. Because only genuine soul travelers will get it, are busy getting it. It's not, I get it here. No, you get it more and more and more and more as you travel up the spiral path, and you know. And then another thought. I did say I was going to be rambly. What was I? So, just a minute, guys. Because I wrote something down. The way we have existed here is no longer viable, you know. It is a kind of theft. When we rob people from the consequences of their actions, their wounds, their trauma, we get in the way of their self-discovery, their sacred path, you know. When you take that away from people, it's like theft, it's robbery, you know, and it comes from a place of just self-delusion and self, you know, just that's it. It's no good. Yes, there are times where we help people. I do. Animals, people, when it is right. But when you do it because you are in the wounded healer trap and you're codependent and you think it's your duty to fix everything, whilst believing nothing can be fixed and everything is doomed, and you're not helping yourself in any way at all, then that's all fucked up. And that is what happens in this world. I've been that way. I was like that for God knows how many years, so I know all about it. The fake persona. Now, so I've spoken about the fake persona many times. The fake persona is this person that you thought you were, that you are not. Wounded healer is part of that. The people pleaser, the people hater. It's perfectly all right. All of that, you know, what you have learned to be, what they have made you, what they have told you you are, this whole complete fake distortion that you are not. But it is, the fake persona is a hive thing. If you really pay attention to the behavior of others and how they speak and what they speak about and how they behave and what is acceptable behavior and what is not acceptable behavior. Anything that's true and free and real is not acceptable. And anything that's authentic, no, that's not acceptable. Anything that's empowering and robust and strong and courageous, no, we can't have that. You know the status quo because you can see it. You see it's toxic, and you see it's disempowering. You see it's murder. It's fucking murder. You know, because it wants to murder us. It does. It hates us. Oh, so that is your fake persona. And that is what we are doing. That is what this sacred work, this path that we walk is all about. Taking back the occupied territories, right? Soul retrieval. It is beyond language. I cannot put it into words, and I'm pretty good with words, and I can't put it into words. But I know this, and this always comes back to me. It's as if the Great Mother, the Maverick Effect, the Great Mystery, and I must say I do love that way of I like that terminology, the Great Mystery. But it has to be said that for a soul traveller, it isn't really a mystery. It becomes increasingly more understandable because we are it, and it is us, you know. It's the left brain NPC Fibonacci mind that is at odds with it, because it's like oil and water. It is evil, it's demonic, and it's toxic, and of course it's like the light shines and it runs because it knows that its time is done. And they're frightened of us, guys, you know. They hate us because they're afraid of us. We're a spanner in the works. You walk this path, you become increasingly more confident, even still whilst going through the dark night of the soul, reconquering the occupied territories of your soul, even whilst there's still parts of you, and whilst you, because when you do the soul retrieval, you will feel and think what that part of your soul that you're retrieving is feeling and thinking. Alright? You're not getting it wrong when you're being negative. No. The fear, the grief, the hate, the rage, the confusion, the distortion, the I don't understand anything and I thought I got it, now I don't get it, because you're doing soul retrieval work, so momentarily you feel that way. until it's brought back home, then, yeah, of course. But it's as if the Great Mother says, do you still wish to carry on walking the true path? It does that every now and then, you get that sense. Do you still wish to do this? It's as if there's always an opportunity to say, well, actually, I think I'll go back into the darkness and carry on living that for a bit longer. This happens. People do that. Which is okay too, because ultimately, if you're a soul traveler, you'll make it home. There are detours. These things happen. You know, and I think that's fine. It's got to be. It's all in the Tao. But I've never been that way inclined myself, that's to be said. It's that commitment, the choice, and that leads into the other choice. You can choose darkness, you know, like on Facebook, that post by this woman, I'm like, why the fuck did you post that? Oh, it's better. It was something about, well, basically, you know, evil always wins and there's nothing you can do, sort of energy. I was like, wow. Or, no, I choose the light. I choose the light. Because you get to the point where your eyes really are opened, as in the High Priestess in the tarot, who sees the veils part. And there are many veils, and they will be parted, and all will be revealed more and more and more and more. Yeah? You see, you know, you understand. Whatever is going on the external is not, oh, we're all finished and we're doomed and evil's won. Not at all. You've only got to listen or just watch, I don't know, 5 seconds of Biden, 5 seconds of Pelosi, just the general, whatever, all of it. It's always shifting, it's always changing. There's so much going on, but this is not a case of evil being all powerful and winning. Quite the reverse. But you can say that to somebody who is mired in darkness again and again and again. They're just not going to hear you, because if they haven't done the inner work, it's like they're surrounded by an impenetrable energy field that dampens them. It dampens them, and there's no getting through, and there's no need to get through. It is, however, very frustrating, because that sort of thing tends to trigger our own despair, because there's always that fear that, oh, you're not going to make it, you know, it's all a sick evil game, you're not going to get anywhere, you're not going to make it, and it's all be meaningless and blah, you know. Because the NPCs all think it's meaningless and it's all about money, and the normies, well, they have meaning, they search meaning. So what do you make of that then? Souls want meaning, substance, because we are travelers. Even your normies who are not awake yet, they are travelers. They're moving, they want to move, experience meaning, yes. You know, that is the water of life, guys. All right. Love always wins, always, one way or another. It's just been a temporary experience, and when you come out of it, it's like, okay, you now have to detox of the substance that made you have an inversion, duality experience. You have to get it out of your consciousness so that you can return to your natural state and come out of this illusion. Yeah? That's it. That's the way I feel it. I'm not telling you to think anything or feel anything at all. I just do these videos and I talk about what I feel guided by my true self to talk about. No more, no less. You know? And I thank you all for watching my videos. and for leaving comments. I like very much to hear about your experiences, about your inner work, especially. This is meaningful to me and I like it. What you're going through. It doesn't have to be positive or negative or anything at all, but talk to me about what you're feeling, what you're going through, what your experiences are. Talk about your high strangeness as well. You know, this channel is here so that soul travelers can connect also with each other and share of your journey, because we often feel very isolated and very alone. We've been kept that way, I think. You know, it doesn't like us connecting with each other. But all that will happen, you know, at the right time. Oh, language. Anyway, I better call it a day there because I've been rambling on for quite a bit. All my love to all of you. Mwah.